Have you ever wondered why so many people across America and around the world are suddenly skipping meals on purpose? Intermittent fasting isn't just another wellness trend. It has quietly become a movement, a return to something our bodies have known for thousands of years. In a time when food is everywhere and eating feels automatic, fasting invites us to pause, to interrupt a rhythm we didn't even realize we were trapped in. And the moment you decide to stop eating for a few hours, something remarkable begins to unfold beneath the surface, something most of us were never taught to notice. This isn't about deprivation, it's about awakening a biological memory, a survival mechanism older than civilization itself. For many Americans trying fasting for the first time, the question isn't, will I lose weight? It's, what actually happens inside my body when I stop eating? And the answer is far more fascinating and far more powerful than anyone expects. Long before intermittent fasting became a buzzword in modern wellness, it was simply the way humans survived. Our ancestors didn't eat 3 meals a day, and they certainly didn't snack every 2 hours. Food came in waves, unexpected, unpredictable, and the body adapted by becoming incredibly flexible, able to shift between stored fat and quick-burning glucose without hesitation. That ancient adaptability still lives inside you today, waiting for the moment it's needed again. When you begin a fasting journey, you're not disrupting your biology, you're returning to its original rhythm. Think about it. For most of American history, even before refrigerators and 24/7 grocery stores, people naturally went longer stretches without eating. The body evolved expecting periods of scarcity, not an endless supply of calories. That's why fasting doesn't break you. It recalibrates you. It reminds your metabolism how to switch gears, how to burn cleaner fuel, how to protect your energy instead of wasting it. In a world where constant eating has become the norm, fasting feels uncomfortable not because it's unnatural, but because it's unfamiliar. And once your body recognizes what's happening, the real transformation begins. The first morning you skip breakfast feels strangely louder than usual. Your stomach grumbles, your focus wavers, and a quiet voice in your mind whispers, "You need to eat." But do you? Or is it simply reacting to a routine you've repeated for years? Most people don't feel hunger in the first 12 hours. What they feel is habit leaving the body. Your blood sugar begins to dip only slightly. And your brain, used to its steady drip of glucose, taps you on the shoulder asking for the usual refill. But this isn't a crisis. It's conditioning. Inside your body, something much more interesting is happening. As insulin levels fall, your liver begins releasing the glycogen it has stored for moments exactly like this. Think of it like a battery pack that still has plenty of charge left. You're not running out of energy. You're accessing it in a different way. Helen, one of the people who tried fasting for the first time, described those early hours not as painful but as unsettling, like her body was asking why the pattern had suddenly changed. And that's the moment most people misunderstand. The discomfort isn't your biology failing, it's your biology waking up. These early signals aren't warnings, they're adjustments. And just beneath them lies a shift your body has been prepared for since the beginning of human time. Because once you cross this early threshold, the real conversation between your mind and metabolism finally begins. Somewhere between hour 12 and hour 48, your body begins to realize that the constant stream of calories isn't coming. At first, you may feel a little irritable or foggy, as if someone dimmed the lights inside your brain. But this dip isn't a sign of weakness. It's the moment your metabolism starts testing a new strategy. With insulin levels continuing to fall, your liver empties the last of its glycogen stores, releasing steady bursts of energy to keep you going. This is the tipping point when metabolic switching begins. Your body starts preparing to move away from sugar and towards stored fat. It's a shift millions of Americans struggle to experience because constant snacking keeps insulin too high for this transition ever to happen. James, who tried intermittent fasting for the first time last year, described these hours as strangely emotional, like his body was pausing to renegotiate its terms of survival. And he wasn't wrong. Behind the scenes, your biology is asking a profound question. Should we rely on the old fuel, or is it time to unlock something deeper? Once your glycogen runs low, the answer becomes clear. Fat cells begin loosening their grip, preparing to release the energy they've held for years, And while you may not feel it yet, this quiet metabolic negotiation is the doorway to the first real breakthrough of fasting. Because when your body finally switches fuels, everything from your energy to your clarity starts to change in ways you can actually feel. By the third or fourth day, something subtle but unmistakable begins to shift. The hunger that once felt sharp now feels quieter, almost distant, and the fog that hovered over your thoughts starts to lift. This is the moment many people describe as their first fasting high, a wave of unexpected clarity that feels nothing like the jittery spike from sugar or caffeine. It's clean, steady energy, like someone wiped the condensation off a foggy window in your mind. What's happening is pure biology. With glycogen gone, your body fully embraces fat adaptation, unlocking the long-term fuel it was designed to use during times of scarcity. As your fat cells release stored energy, your liver converts it into ketones premium, slow-burning fuel that your brain absolutely loves. That's why this stage of intermittent fasting feels almost meditative. James said he didn't feel empty on day 3. He felt light. There's a difference. Lightness isn't about having less, it's about carrying only what you need. And for the first time, your brain stops whispering reminders to eat and simply lets you be. This early breakthrough is more than metabolic progress. It's psychological freedom, the moment you realize hunger doesn't own you. And once your mind experiences that freedom, the journey ahead becomes something entirely different, something deeper than weight loss or willpower. It becomes transformation. By the end of the first week, something remarkable happens, not in your stomach, but in your mind. The emotional chatter that once pushed you towards snacks throughout the day grows quieter, and your thoughts feel more streamlined, as if your brain finally found its own rhythm again. This is when levels of BDNF, a protein often called brain fertilizer, begin to rise. BDNF helps your neurons grow stronger connections, which is why so many people report sharper focus, faster thinking, and a sense of emotional steadiness they haven't felt in years. The fog that dominated the early days fades, replaced by a calm alertness that feels strangely familiar, almost ancestral. You begin to notice you're not just functioning, you're present. Your cravings no longer dictate your behavior. In fact, they show up less and less. Not because you're resisting them, but because your body is finally stabilizing without constant glucose spikes. For many Americans who've spent a lifetime eating out of habit, stress, or boredom, this mental clarity feels like stepping into a quieter room after years of background noise. And the beauty of this stage is that it's not dramatic, it's steady, like a light that slowly brightens over several mornings. You start to trust your body in a way you didn't before. And just when you think this clarity might be the peak of intermittent fasting, the deeper metabolic magic begins to unfold. Because what happens next isn't just about mental focus, it's about cellular renewal. The kind of repair your body has been waiting years to begin. As you move into the second week of intermittent fasting, the transformation shifts from something you feel to something your cells begin to become. This is where autophagy, the natural recycling system of your body, switches into a higher gear. Autophagy literally means self-cleaning. But the process itself is far more elegant than the word suggests. It's your body taking a quiet moment to sort through damaged proteins, worn-out components, and cellular clutter that has been slowing you down for years. Think of it like a late-night cleaning crew moving through an empty building, restoring order while everything else sleeps. Many people describe this phase not with excitement, but with a strange sense of lightness, as if something internal has uncluttered. Even though nothing visible has changed, you might notice your skin looking clearer, your joints feeling less stiff, or your digestion becoming calmer. These aren't coincidences. They're signs your body is finally getting the break it rarely receives in a world of constant eating. And here's the quiet truth most people never hear. Autophagy isn't a dramatic moment, it's a gentle return to efficiency, a biological sigh of relief. This stage marks the beginning of your internal reset, setting the foundation for longevity, reduced inflammation, and a healthier metabolic future. And yet, this is still not the most profound shift. That comes when your body learns not just to clean itself, but to fuel itself in an entirely new way. By the third week of intermittent fasting, your body no longer reacts with panic when food doesn't arrive on schedule. Instead, it becomes strategic, almost elegant in the way it manages energy. This is the stage where metabolic switching becomes fully established. Your body shifts effortlessly between glucose and fat, operating like a hybrid engine that always chooses the cleanest, most efficient fuel. With insulin staying consistently low, your liver continues producing ketones, those powerful molecules that your brain and muscles use with remarkable precision. Unlike sugar, ketones burn cleaner, generating less oxidative stress and giving you sustained energy instead of sharp peaks and crashes. Many Americans who reach this phase describe a sense of stability they haven't felt in years. Hunger becomes predictable, quieter, and more honest. It shows up when your body needs fuel, not when your emotions do. This is also where two key hormones, ghrelin and leptin, begin to recalibrate. Ghrelin, the hormone that signals hunger, stops spiking out of habit, and leptin, the hormone that helps regulate fullness, becomes more responsive. In simple terms, your cravings lose their power, and your choices start coming from clarity rather than impulse. Helen noticed that by week 3, food stopped calling her name. She didn't walk into the kitchen out of boredom or stress. She simply ate when her body asked, and stopped when it was satisfied. It wasn't discipline, it was alignment. This is the psychological turning point of intermittent fasting, the moment you stop fighting yourself and start partnering with your biology. And as your metabolism settles into this new harmony, something deeper begins to stir inside your cells, preparing you for a transformation even more profound than switching fuels. Somewhere around day 15, you wake up and notice something you didn't expect. Your energy no longer rises and falls like a roller coaster. Instead, it feels smooth, steady, and surprisingly abundant. This is the point where your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells, begin to multiply. Fasting triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, giving your body more engines to create energy with less effort. That's why many people report feeling physically lighter and mentally sharper at this stage. Your endurance improves without forcing it. Tasks that once drained, you now feel easier, as if someone quietly upgraded your internal hardware. James described this phase as a kind of calm alertness, a state where the mind feels both relaxed and focused, like being fully awake but without the jitters. And it makes sense. More mitochondria mean cleaner energy. Cleaner energy means less inflammation. Less inflammation means better cognitive performance. It's a cascade of benefits your body has been waiting for, especially in a culture of constant overeating. This is the moment fasting stops feeling like something you're doing to your body and starts feeling like something your body is doing for you. And yet, even with all this strength and clarity, there's an important reminder ahead, because every powerful tool has its limits, and knowing those limits is part of the transformation. With all the clarity and control you've gained, it's easy to feel unstoppable. But even the smartest biological tools require balance. By the 3rd week, some people may experience subtle warning signs: fatigue that lingers longer than it should, irritability that creeps in unexpectedly, or sleep that feels lighter and more restless. These aren't failures, they're signals. Intermittent fasting isn't meant to be a test of how much you can deny yourself. It's meant to be a partnership with your body. For women, hormonal rhythms may temporarily shift. For men, stress hormones can rise if they push too aggressively. And pairing fasting with extreme calorie restriction only amplifies the strain. The goal isn't to starve your body into change, it's to guide it. Knowing when to ease up is just as important as knowing when to stay consistent. And as your journey continues, this understanding becomes a defining part of your transformation. As your body adapts to this new metabolic rhythm, your sleep begins to shift as well. Some nights feel unusually alert, as if your mind is standing a little too close to the edge of wakefulness. Other nights feel deeper, heavier, more restorative than anything you've experienced in years. These changes are tied to cortisol and melatonin, two hormones that guide your daily rise and rest. Early in fasting, cortisol may spike slightly, keeping you more aware at night. But as your metabolism stabilizes, your body lowers nighttime cortisol and increases melatonin, easing you into a calmer, more natural sleep pattern. This is when many people notice a surprising emotional shift. Anxiety softens, thoughts feel lighter, and the constant mental background noise begins to fade. It's not just biology, it's clarity. Moments of hunger have taught you patience. And moments of stillness have revealed how much mental clutter constant eating had been masking. Fasting isn't only cleansing your body, it's cleansing your mind. And with each passing day, that inner quiet becomes a foundation for everything that follows. By the fourth week, fasting stops feeling like an experiment and starts feeling like a state of being. Deep inside your cells, a quiet revolution is taking place. This is where sirtuins, proteins closely linked to longevity, step into the spotlight. Sirtuins act like guardians of your DNA, repairing damage, enhancing cellular resilience, and helping your body age with far more grace than the modern lifestyle usually allows. Studies on both humans and animals show that intermittent fasting activates these pathways, strengthening the foundation of long-term health rather than providing just short-term results. Many people notice subtle shifts during this phase. Their skin looks clearer, inflammation settles, digestion feels smoother, and energy stays consistent even on demanding days. These aren't dramatic transformations, but they are meaningful ones, the kind you feel in the way your body moves, the way your thoughts settle, the way your mornings begin. Fasting gives your cells time they rarely get in a world filled with constant snacks, heavy meals, and endless blood sugar swings. Every fasted hour becomes a window for repair instead of processing. And while you may not see these changes in the mirror right away, they are unfolding inside you with quiet precision. This is the foundation of longevity science, not living forever, but living better. And as your body leans fully into this rhythm, the final chapter of your transformation begins to reveal itself. After 30 days, you stand at a crossroads. You've felt the hunger, the breakthroughs, the clarity, and the quiet confidence that comes when you finally understand your own biology. Fasting isn't about how long you can go without eating. It's about how deeply you can listen to your body. Some will continue this rhythm, others will return to their old patterns with new awareness. The choice is yours. But if the brain effects of fasting fascinated you, you'll want to see what happens when you remove sugar for 30 days. So tell me, would you try intermittent fasting for a month?